On the 2nd of April 2018, the Syrian government issued Law No. 10, which allows people's disempowerment through regeneration master plans for any area inside Syria. In this video, we explain how this law works. When the Syrian Ministry of Local Administration selects an area for reconstruction, the owner of any property in that area loses automatically their ownership status as the sole owner. So they cannot sell, give, or even build anything there. They can only use or rent it until the time of demolition. This means that the property owner loses their fixed ownership status and becomes a shareholder within a collective ownership masha of the entire area in the master plan. What options do shareholders have? Selling, registering for an apportioned plot, form joint stock company, and public auction. Selling shares. The shareholders can sell shares partially or completely. However, this has to be done in less than a year. Share price is determined by a committee of one judge and two elected citizens based on the area market value before issuing the law. This option is to be done in less than a year. If shareholders didn't sell their shares, then they have to select one of the other options within 6 months period. Registering for an apportioned plot. This option requires an agreement between many shareholders to register for an apportioned plot which suits their shares value. Once agreement is reached, an application is made to the local administration unit for approval. Upon approval, shareholders then share collective ownership of the apportioned plot. What are the conditions of this option? Shares are free of mortgage or disputes. Shareholders need to obtain a building license within a year. Otherwise, an annual fee of 10% of the value of the plot will be imposed for a period of 4 years. If no license is obtained after 4 years, the plot will be sold by the local administration in a public auction. This option is problematic because shareholders cannot register for an apportioned plot by themselves. It has to be done via agreement with a group of shareholders, which is difficult to achieve in the proposed time frame. In a situation whereby shareholders cannot agree, the shareholder who owns more than half the shares can sell them by public auction. The shareholders are not eligible to choose their apportioned plot, as this is the right of the local administration unit only. Founding a joint stock company. This option is available within 6 months after converting property's ownership into market shares. Conditions: shares are free of mortgage or disputes. The process: shareholders submit an application to the local administration unit for the registering of their joint stock company. The local administration unit is responsible for establishing the company as a joint stock company. The company aim should be of investing these plots commercially as resorts, hotels, malls, or building apartments for sale or lease. The shareholders elect a company board and then offer the company's capital as cash shares for public subscription. The apportioned plots of the company are registered under the ownership of the company as an entity. Thus, the shareholder is only the part owner shareholder of the joint stock company. The rights of shareholders in the joint stock company shall be limited to the sale of their shares and receiving of any annual profits. They also have the right to inspect the company's books and to participate and vote in the company's annual general meeting. This option is problematic because of the dominance of shareholders who own the most shares on the main positions of the company, the centralization of the termination decision in case the company is unable to sell all the shares it has offered, or the company fails to achieve the set of social, cultural, or economic objectives which have unclear criteria at this stage, or the local administration unit converts the shareholders' shares to only the option of selling via public auction, with no appeal against the decision being allowed. If the shareholders cannot sell their shares voluntarily or do not want to register for an apportioned plot, or do not choose the option of joint stock company, the local administration can sell their shares by public auction. The question here is why this law is problematic in a country that has suffered 7 years of armed conflict and where local authorities don't have the competences required to manage projects of this size in terms of staff, resources, and expertise. Law 10 is unfair for several reasons. It allows centralization of decisions regarding any process, like selecting the area or questioning the feasibility study proposed. The article ignores the complex identity of cities and their history and memory. Moreover, it associates reconstruction only with economic feasibility, neglecting all the social and cultural aspects that are integral to these ancient Syrian cities. It deprives citizens of their ownership rights and it turns these rights into shares in a collective ownership of a large area. A possibility of displacement of a large number of informal residents due to the limited value of shares in informal settlements. It seizes properties of more than 6 million refugees outside the country due to the lack of access to their documents. And citizens lose 20% of the value of their properties in favor of the local authorities for providing services.